is to create a solution to several major issues in Papua, such as education, infrastructure, social and culture, and education. We hope to build and create new connections after this conference, so we, Papuan students from around the world, can go back and build our land. Thank you for the opportunity and good morning.
And the second welcome remarks gonna go with the chairman of the research competition. However, since the speaker are not available, I will give the time for the University of Rhode Island representative. Time and place are open.
Bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu, selamat datang ke Rhode Island. I would love to just welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. We're really honored to have our provost of the University of Rhode Island, Dr. Laura Bogue, here. Offer a welcome so I'd like to hand this over to her, but thank you very much, Dr. Bogue, for.
Thank you. This is a wow. Can we have a clicker for slides? She has a section.
I have pictures.
Well, welcome everyone. I am so happy to be here with you today. Our graduate students, our undergraduate students, our guests here from other places, and I want to give a special recognition for the URI Papuan students who have put all this together at a very difficult time. It's been really cold weather, and you managed to pull this off, and I'm really proud of you. I have some slides I want to show you, and I'll try to be within 5 minutes, but since the other speakers in here, maybe I'll take that 5 minutes. But the reason why I want to show you these slides is because I wanted to point out what a special relationship it's been with our Papuan collaborators and welcoming our students from Papua. We first got our Papuan students in 2019, and you can see this is the first cohort of students that came over, and they look like a happy group. And look at that nice tree behind there. It's springtime. This was in May in 2019, and the governor of Papua came with the students and made them feel, at home here, and made sure they were settled here at the university. Now this is back in Papua. We have some URI representatives who first established the relationship here. And how many of you know Brooke Ross? Have you seen? Oh yeah, everybody knows Brooke Ross. Yes, and so he first went over there with Nancy Strickland, who you can see in the other picture, and one of our deans who visited Papua and established the relationship. We have had a strong relationship with all of you for years now, and later on in January, our president is going to be going to Papua again. But you will see here in these pictures is our former president of the university, Dave Dooley, who first established the relationship, and you can see the signing of the papers that established the relationship, and some faculty. There's Brooke over there again. But we will be visiting again in Indonesia and Papua in January to make sure that we continue our relationship going forward. Our students here, and many of you are here, you are studying in a variety of fields in marine affairs, health education, teacher education, And we hope to expand those opportunities for you. Some of our students are engaging in accelerated master's degrees too. After they finish their undergraduate degree, they stay for another year and finish their master's degree. And we're very happy to have those opportunities for you. COVID was a hard time for everyone, but here at URI you can see that our Papuan students engaged in the ventilator project, and they were able to make some ventilators that were eventually sent. About 140 ventilators were sent over to Papua. So all of you did your part in terms of helping us deal with this, the pandemic. Back in May, we had our 50th anniversary of our relationship with Indonesia. And of course, Papua was engaged in that. And here's our governor of Rhode Island, Dan McKee, shaking hands with your governor. And there's our state house, and you can see a number of officials and ministers had visited at that time. And here is, anyone see anybody familiar here? Yes, this was our 50th anniversary celebration back in May. It was a wonderful, wonderful several days where we had lots of celebration by various individuals. I don't know how many people were at this celebration, Kristen.
I mean, even virtually it was over 700.
Over 700 people participated in this. And this was a traditional dance, of course, the Mambo Simbo, that our students engaged in. It was very popular. You had so many people taking pictures of this dance. It really energized the room. It was wonderful. And then, of course, you see a minister from Indonesia speaking over there. So, or maybe it was the ambassador. But anyway, it was a great event, and we look forward to having many more in the future. And here we have the picture of everyone together, some in traditional costume here. What we're very proud of in our partnership is that we have assisted Papua and Indonesia in developing protections of their environment, particularly the marine environments. We've also helped Indonesia establish sovereignty over their waters. We participated in that, so we have had a great collaboration with Indonesia over the years. In the country and in terms of educational opportunities. And then I wanted to end up with this one because here are students having fun here in Rhode Island. You can see having a cookout, and then that looks like Easter with Easter eggs there. But we are so happy that you have all come to share in your research today, in your education, and celebrating Christmas. And we look forward to having many more happy celebrations with you in the future. Okay, thank you.
For now, we have a video from the chairman of the research competition. We can provide that through video, so you can see that.
Of Cendrawasih Papua, University of Indonesia, and Oregon Technology Institute, and Oregon Professor.
Sorry.
to University of Cendrawasih Papua, University of Indonesia, and Oregon Technology Institute, and all the professors and lecturers. Thank you so much for your contribution and for your help to make this research competition 2022 happen this year, and we can work. I cannot wait to work with you next year and next time. I want to say thank you to students, submit the paper, submit the research paper. Thank you so much. We have one individual and one group. So your team, and there's a guy from our island, Karma. He was able to submit the paper. Thank you so much for your contribution. We have to know that not every man and woman in Papua like us able to access scholarship, able to get the scholarship like us to study in the highest institutions in the US and Canada. So please, we have to contribute our ideas to our people, our land, because we are their hope, and that's why we make this research competition 2022 happen, because we want to give something back to our people. We want to give something to our land, so that our ideas can become a tools and guidelines to solve the problem in Papua. So I want to say thank you so much for those who submit the paper. You are amazing. Your paper was amazing. I read, wow, you really hide all your potential all this time around. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to my team, senior advisor. Thank you so much. We work day and night to make this event happen. So I want to say thank you so much to my team. Lastly, I want to say something really different. So I need to invite your attention, please. We have so many issues right now in Papua, even in Imapa, USA, Canada, grouping people based on where they're from. Even in Papua happen, and I see this is happen also in US and Canada. Please, we have to unite. If we really want to build Papua, we have to unite, work together, move on together. There's nothing we can do if we divide people based on group of people where they are from. That's not the way. That's not right, because that's not our enemy. When you look at somebody sitting in front of you, sitting beside you, behind, they're just a people just like us. They're not our enemy. Our enemy, our business is solved. How can we make health system in Papua better? How can we make education in Papua better? How can we solve the climate problems in Papua? How can we make so many different problems in Papua? That is our business. That is our duty. That is our job to be able to do so. So, looking at other people, government, so many things you can name, they are not our enemy. They're not our enemy. We as an academy, we as a scholar, we as a students, we just to study and solve the problem with research. I think that's something that I would like to say this year. And with that being said, Merry Christmas, 25 December 2022, and Happy New Year, 1st January 2023. God bless you. And God bless Papua, God bless Indonesia, God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the welcoming. We are here really thank you for your hard work to make this event happen. Right now we have history highlights by main board Imapa USA
I want to
Canada.
take this time to say,
Clement Place artwork.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, it's so quiet. Morning. Right. Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna introduce Imapa USA Canada leaders. I'm the president of Imapa USA Canada, and Marike Tenoe is treasurer, and Andreas is secretary. And also we have eight directors for our department that support our events that we do every year and every month. So first of all, I want to welcome Leroy. Thank you so much for being with us, and I want to thank you for Dr. Laura and Kristen. Thank you, and also I want to thank you for the team for conducting this event. So amazing throughout this year, and also for coming out from different stage. Thank you.
So I will introduce a little bit the background of Imapa USA Canada. So Imapa USA Canada is a open association in US and Canada. So it was established in Portland, Oregon by Kaka Billy Brunei in 2017. So he created this organization is to bring all the students together because back in the days they have a really hard time with the scholarship and stuff. So he tried to bring all the students from Papua together to solve the problems together and help each other. And our first election for the president of Imapa was held between the month of May. So we didn't have any president back then, and then in 2018 we started to make an election to make it official to this registration. And then the second election was held in Los Angeles. I think it was a long day over there. Yeah. So it was the second election in Los Angeles, and the third election was I think last year, and that's when we've been chosen to lead this organization. And the mission of this organization is again to bring all the Papua students in the US and Canada together, and so bring feel like home here. And also this is the president, the previous president. So Kakaris Labene is the previous president. So he led the organization from 2017 until 2019, and Manuel Marcelo, and he been leading he led the organization since 2019 until 2021.
Right. This is our vision layout. So Imapa this year, 2023-2024, we are focused on pushing the students to innovate and collaborate, and like we're doing right now, research competition. We know last year we actually did not did well on projects and research. So now we realize that a lot of students have ideas, projects, but we didn't integrate that to make it happen and execute it in Papua. So this is a great platform in Imapa USA Canada. That's why we are focusing on pushing students and mentoring programs that we're going to talk about later. And this is for our mission layout. So we conduct every monthly discussion. That way we invite potential speakers from Indonesia and in the US to talk about current issues in Papua that are happening in many sectors like politics, education, and healthcare. That's why we do a discussion every month. And we also do a press release on the government. And the second one, we like to create Imapa USA Canada as a platform to exchange ideas and do some research and projects for both long term and short. And the other part of us, we like to focus on create for career networking. That's why we invite Leroy to talk about how students can connect with other alliances, organizations, so that we can build up our networking for the future career networking. And to encourage, as we know, most of the students are Christian, so we like to push students to grow spiritually as well as mentally and academically.
And then this is our organization structure. So we have a president, which is Ibi Gugoya, and our vice president, who cannot able to make it, and he's in Indonesia right now, which is Seknon Panimbo, and then secretary is me, and treasurer is Marike. And then we have at least 12 departments so far, but only 8 departments. There is we have only 8 departments so far. So we have public relation, item management, offices conference, spirituality, and sport, research project, media marketing, event organizers, student affairs, Imapa Learning Center, Imapa fundraising, culture donation, and women empowerment. And then this is the program that we are trying to accomplish during our period of within the organization. So we try to have the Natal every year. So this is I think this is our first leading the Christmas celebration. And our second program is monthly discussion and summer gathering. So I think this year we had a summer gathering during the public, but and yeah, we have a lot of games and stuff doing, but it's virtually. And then monthly discussion as well, led by event organizer. And then mentorship, and our the next is mentorship and internship development, but we haven't get there yet. We trying to make it happen. And then we also still working on the future career networking. That's why we try to invite report. So we try to build that in the future. And research and project development, we try to make it. That's why we have Gagadani to lead us in research and project. And this is our first program. So the Natal that we held every year. So this is annual Natal. So this is I think tomorrow is the 6th of our Christmas celebration together. So basically, we always appointed at the end of the Christmas celebration. We appointed I think we did 14 so far to appointed who's gonna help the Christmas next year. And the goal of the Christmas is to celebrate Christmas together and make it the even Christmas home.
Alright, so as I mentioned, monthly discussions we do every month, and we invite the speakers from Indonesia, but we mostly talk about the current issues in back home in Papua. As we know, there's a lot of issues going on, and of course, to new ideas, information about Papua. So it's hard to get information from here because it's far away, you know. So that's why we invite potential speakers. So some other outcome is to get to know about what's going on back home and in Indonesia as well. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a mentorship and internship programs that we haven't started yet this year since we had a very difficult times with scholarship programs. So about 84 students they were sending back home because of scholarship problems, and we were struggling this year. Try to talk with the government, and I thank you, Aji, but Rubes also help us to help students to finish their last semesters. So thank you so much. Yeah, the main goal of mentorship internship program is we want to build a confidence and in the leadership and also in communication. It is so important, especially us in Papua. So Imapa Music Canada is a great platform where we can build and connect with other organizations and build leadership. Back home in Papua, a lot of leaders failures, a lot of problems. That's why we want to Imapa Music Canada help students to build their leadership in a godly leadership as well as in a worldly view, so that when we go back in Papua, we can see the problems in the bigger pictures, both from a biblical point of view and a worldly views. And of course, writing a better resume. I think last year Leroy already helped about a number of students, and we're gonna continue on that because it is really helpful for the students. And also, skills. And the target is students and alumni in Imapa Music Canada who already graduated. So this one we're gonna do next year, 2023. So networking, career networking. So students from Papua already graduated, but they are struggling for jobs and internship, OPT. So we like to, through Imapa USA Canada, to build a networking with other organizations, Freeport and local company, so that when we go back to Indonesia, we can easily connect to those companies and organizations. And it's easier to work and to connect with local companies and organizations, and provide resources, create opportunities, and gaining new perspectives, and building network. So our target is we're gonna focus on Indonesian students here, Premiers Nasional, and Premiers in Massachusetts, as well as other states. And of course, Freeport, we already built a network with the Freeport and the local companies in Papua, and education as well, and also students organizations, both in Indonesia as well as US and internationally. We can. And young professional workers. So alumni already graduated. This is a problem. So here we need to prepare students, since we have experience. Most of students already got back in Indonesia, but they're still struggling for finding a job. That's why we like to build a network with other companies. Next. This one example. Not needed. Next.
All right, moving on to the fun part. This is the financial report from Imapa USA Canada. But I didn't include everything in here, so it's just the major expenses and also incomes coming in and coming out. coming in and going out. So let's start from the beginning of the year. So in January, like Dini had already mentioned, this year is a difficult year for Imapa just because more than 100 students were on the list to be sent home, and we were struggling to figure out who needs to be like saved. You know, like some of them are like, some of the names are mistakenly put on the list. You know, there was like one student who was a freshman. He just got here and then he's on the list to be sent home. You know, it doesn't make sense. So things like that, we fixed the list, and then also, so we reduced the number. So I think for the financial report, it's basically focusing on the students, helping students to not being sent home. So in January, there was a flood in Jayapura. Like I think most of you already know. We did a fundraising, and we got $495.06, and that money we didn't get to send home, but we actually collected alongside with aid and also financial assistance from about numbers of donors to help the students who are being sent home, that since they're on the list to be sent home, they didn't get to go to school because all of their apartment and also tuition didn't get paid. So they had to, some of them were working while going to school, so like studying and working at the same time. So the money from the Jayapura flood relief we collected alongside with a number of donors from, like we can see from the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia and from Favor of God Church. Favor of God Church, and also from FICA, Fellowship of Indonesian Christian in America, and there are a couple also a couple financial that helped us. So all those money we collect, and then we distribute it to students who need the most. And the total is 1,400 is this one throughout the year after March. So each student, we were able to provide $200, and the rest of the money we still have it, and we're still figuring out a way to actually help them in the future. And also, I think that's about it. Also, there are also funding for the summer youth gathering in Oregon, Washington, also in Rhode Island. Each were given $500, and I think there, like this one in the summer, Andres and I, we were able to go home, and then we tried to go to talk to Mr. Arioko, and try to bring the new list so we could, because if you meet in person it would be better because you could talk it out, and we gave the list, and then also we were able to talk to Mr. Arioko about it, and I think the result, it's still, you know, like we didn't get like clear result after that because we had to go back to our own cities after that. And also we are since we have like a lot of money going out, but we don't have like money coming in because we don't have a fundraising committee yet. So this year we're trying to make fundraising. We're trying to make fundraising through selling t-shirts. Yeah, it's down here. Selling t-shirts, hats, and keychains, and we're still waiting for the proposal. Yeah, and also, I want to talk about the mandatory dues. We had agreed in 2021, that each student would have to pay a mandatory due of $1 each month. So in total, in a year, you would have to pay $12. But we didn't get to do it this year just because everyone was in need of money, so we didn't get to do that. So we would like to start fresh next year. So I would be sending messages to the messenger for students. Just a heads up, guys. So basically, I feel like it's not a lot, but at the same time, what you are giving to through the mandatory dues is contributing to help others who we can help through Imapa. And we can do that through Venmo and PayPal, or you could just direct message me through Messenger or WhatsApp. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Imapa USA Canada main board. Thank you so much for your hard work during this year and then the next couple years. And right now we're going to our sessions. First, we're gonna have session 1 by Papuan Development Strategy by Mr. Laos DC Rumayong Esos NSE. However, Mr. Laos until right now doesn't available. Mr. Laos already in here, so we're gonna give a place and time for Mr. Laos.
Sorry.
because we need to take time for the Zoom. So we're going to the session 2, the Career Networking Development Opportunity by Mr. Leroy Hollenbeck. Time and place are welcome.
Oke, selamat pagi, selamat siang, ibu bapak semua, salam sejahtera, selamat datang, dan saya juga baru datang, baru tidur tadi malam. Saya seperti Pak Sanjaya yang waktu itu membuka sesi tadi, waktu itu pakai bahasa Inggris, tapi saya mau menyampaikan beberapa hal. Misalnya semuanya dalam bahasa Indonesia supaya Anda tahu bahwa saya juga cukup paham bahasa Inggris. Jadi, mulai Omolongo juga dijadikan orang Mume di Papua. Okay, English speaking now. First of all, University of Rhode Island, Laura and Kristen have left. I want to thank Rhode Island for University of Rhode Island for being the host. I heard that KBRE has a representative here, so thank you. Bob Rosan is a dear friend of mine, so thank you to the Imapa committee for again holding this event. Hopefully next year, I don't want to influencing your vote, but hopefully next year you will pick a warmer state. I know we have a time constraint, but I want to take hopefully more than 15 minutes to do two things. One, go through this presentation fairly quickly. But then I want to talk about what Jimmy had mentioned, and that's the mentorship internship initiative. I want to let you know what we've been doing because all of you are new faces. As Jimmy said, or Andreas said, in December of 2019, I was living in Phoenix, and I went to the Imapa conference in Los Angeles. There were about 250 students there, faculty students. Many of them have already graduated and gone home. And so, having all of you here, and having myself the opportunity to speak to you is very important. So I want to spend a little bit more time on the history of our mentor program, why we did it, working with Jimmy and the leaders of Imapa on how we can help strengthen that particular portion of your program going forward in 2023. So let me go through this. A lot of this is my experience. I went to undergraduate school at Michigan State University a long time ago. And I went to graduate school at the University of Hawaii, more recent, but still quite a while ago. So I've been in your position. I've been a student. The difference is you're a foreign student in a U.S. culture. And we know how difficult that can be. And as you'll see, my career took me overseas when I was 21 years old. And actually, this year is my 50th year in international development. I started when I graduated from Michigan State in 1972. This is now December 2022. 50 years I have been doing this. So hopefully, some of my experience, some of my knowledge that I share with you on this career presentation will help you think about what you want to do as you go through school, as you decide what your major is going to be, and then importantly, just as importantly, what are you going to do after you graduate? So, in your case, from my understanding of the OTSUS scholarship process, all of you had to go through a competition. you were tested. You had to compete with other students. Congratulations. You deserve a bigger round of applause for making it here to the U.S. You are a very, very unique and special group of young men and women that, through our mentor program, we have seen really can excel. In my case, it was all driven by passion. And we're going to hear this word over and over again during the next few minutes. I'm going to talk about passion. It's one thing to come to the U.S. and first of all, experience a whole different culture. Your English probably wasn't that great when you arrived, so you're challenged there. Number three, you're separated from your family. You're challenged there. So I've been there. When I graduated from Michigan State, I went to the Philippines and I spoke no language. I spoke no Tagalog. I spoke no Cebuano. No family around me. So I know what it's like. So follow your passion. My passion was philanthropy. My passion told me that I needed to keep giving back. I've been very fortunate in the decisions that I have made that have enabled me to go from one job to the next. David and I were just talking about my resume. He looked me up on LinkedIn. It's the only social media platform I use. Sorry, I do not like all of this social media. My kids and my grandkids are always like this on their phones, and they don't know how to interact with people. And that's very important. Interpersonal relationships is extremely important. Mine was giving back. I'm here, I made a decision in 1971 when I was a senior at Michigan State University. And it was a decision that just basically fell into my lap. At that time, the U.S. government, the State Department of the U.S. government, was launching an intern program where during your senior year at university, you could join this intern program that would automatically enroll you in the U.S. Peace Corps. Now, I don't know if any of you know what the Peace Corps is, but it's a volunteer program that started with John F. Kennedy in 1961. Indonesia was one of the first countries where Peace Corps was in until 1965. If you know your history, 1965 was not a great year in Indonesia. Peace Corps left. They came back in about 2009 or 10. One of the reasons Peace Corps came back to Indonesia in 2009 or 2010 was because of my visit with Governor Irwandi Yusuf from Aceh to the Peace Corps office in Washington, D.C., asking them to reopen the program in Indonesia. And they did. We wanted them to go to Aceh, but it was not quite right. So the volunteers went to West Java, Central Java, East Java, and I think even now Lombok. But that's where I started. And so when I graduated from college in 1972, I knew exactly where I was going to go, Philippines. I knew exactly what I was going to do, fisheries. And it was just a lucky position I was in. But I was smart enough to know that if I were going to have an impact on other people, the Peace Corps was a great avenue to do that. Now, unfortunately, none of you can be Peace Corps volunteers because you're not U.S. citizens. But just think about where your passion will drive you. Is it to help others? Is it to whatever? That's what happened to me. A lot of challenges, but equally a number of great opportunities that I had during my 50-year career. Started with Peace Corps, never looked back. I've worked with international donor organizations. I was with the United Nations for 13, 14 years, 9 or 10 years in Indonesia, 3 years in China. I've worked with this Beltway Bandit. They call them Beltway Bandits. DAI, Economics. These are the consulting firms in Washington, D.C. that get contracts from the U.S. government to do development overseas. I was one of their contractors for many years. And now I'm with the real private sector, which is Freeport. I was with PT Freeport Indonesia from 1995 until 2001. I was based in Timika, in Mimika. Before that, I'd already lived in Papua for 6 years in Biak and Seru. I've actually been in Indonesia for about 36 years. Longer than you are old. And as you heard, I can speak a little bit of Indonesian. So, but again, these were opportunities that both came to me, but I had to make a decision. Is this really what I want to do? Do I really want to go to Peace Corps? Absolutely. Not knowing a lot about it, but knowing that I was not ready to work in the U.S. And it just started snowballing. One of the last jobs I did was with the John Fawcett Foundation. The John Fawcett Foundation is an international NGO, it's a national NGO based in Australia that had its Indonesian operations in Bali. Living in Bali was not bad. The John Fawcett Foundation, again, part of my passion, giving back. I was the CEO, I was the chief, executive officer. The John Fawcett Foundation did cataract surgeries for poor Indonesians in eastern Indonesia. We did 4,000 cataract surgeries a year for free. Because I had been with PT Freeport Indonesia from 95 to 2001, one of my jobs at Freeport was to build the Rumah Sakit Mitra Masyarakat, which is a hospital that treats Papuans for free. And now because of BPJS, the hospital is able to start generating income, and that hospital will go on forever. It's one of the best hospitals in Papua. But they had no eye program. Well, when I moved to the John Fawcett Foundation in Bali, I linked the two. We actually sent ophthalmologists from Bali to Papua. We opened up an eye clinic in the Rumah Sakit Mitra Masyarakat, and we also opened up an eye clinic at the Rumah Sakit Umum in Timika. And we did about 150 cataract surgeries a day, free. But that link brought the public NGO together with the private sector, which was PT Freeport Indonesia at that time. I look at all of my experiences as opportunities. Take a risk. But because you're smart, it'll be the right decision. Believe me. Follow your passion. I'm very much involved in sustainability. The Arizona State University has one of the best schools of sustainability in the United States. It's important. One of the things that happened to me in my transformation in giving back was I'm mobile. I come in, I stay a while, I leave. And unless I'm convinced that what I am doing is sustainable, fortuna, that I try to help people. So everything that I do, whether it's cataract surgeries I'm not a doctor, I'm a manager. Whether it's cataract surgeries for poor Indonesians, whether it's with Freeport Indonesia and our social programs that we do, I want to make sure that we institutionalize sustainability so that those activities can be continued long after I'm gone. I don't mean maki, I just mean pergi. So just something that I thought about was the importance of leaving something behind that will go on forever. What do all of these organizations look for? It's not too soon for you to start thinking, what am I going to do when I graduate? I've got a bachelor's degree, I've got an SAPI, engineering, earth science, accounting, whatever, nursing. What am I going to do? Well, and how am I going to do it? These are some of the things that I think potential employers look for. What is the integrity and honesty in the person that is applying for a position? Are they a risk taker? Do they show empathy and compassion for others? Prioritizing the welfare of others before you prioritize the welfare of yourself. Cultural sensitivity. It's an absolute must, especially when you're working in foreign countries. You guys are in a foreign country. You have learned to adapt to our culture. Congratulations. You all speak English. You are so much more tech savvy than I am. Congratulations. Altruism is also, it's giving back. It's wanting to do more for others than you do for yourself. Obviously being adventurous, but also be humble. Don't be arrogant. Accept the fact that you have limitations, but you also add value. And you want to capitalize on the value that you add. These are things that help achieve that. Wherever I went, whether it was in the Philippines, in the southern Philippines where they speak Cebuano, I learned to speak Cebuano. Whether it's in Indonesia, I learned to speak Indonesian. When I was in Beijing, I learned to speak Mandarin. Try to learn the language that all of you have done here in the U.S. English. Again, the culture aspect, mutual trust, and important for a company like Freeport, we really do need to, in our case, manage your expectations. I'm standing here today because in 2019, I saw an opportunity when we became aware of the OTSUS-funded Papuan women and men studying throughout the U.S. We made a decision, and I'll go more into this later in just a minute. We made a decision at that time to start a mentor program. Dimi referred to that. So what are your expectations? Again, it's not too soon to start thinking about what you want to do when you graduate. Where do you want to be? I know many of you want to go back home. Great. Many of you want to go back to Papua. Even better. Because they need you. Just like Dimi said. The challenges in Papua are enormous. And to have a group of dozens, if not hundreds, of young Papuan women and men returning to Papua, whether you come back and try to get a job with Freeport or any company, BP, I don't know, any company out there, whether you want to start your own business like some of our students have done that we mentored, coffee shop in Wamena, other businesses that they want to start, maybe they want to be an entrepreneur. You bring with you a whole mindset, a whole set of skills that your friends who never had this experience don't have. And to have you make the decision to go back and try to do something to make Papua better tomorrow than it is today, I'm all for that. I chose a peace book, never regretted it. Each challenge is an opportunity. Don't look at a challenge as, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Or I don't want to do this. And follow your passion. I go back to passion. So I'll wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but I'm not done yet if I can continue. Look, first of all, again, thanks for being there. Just a history about how this all happened with Freeport and Imapa. In June of 2019, one of my colleagues at Freeport Corporate in Phoenix was in Kalamazoo. He was at Western Michigan University because his friend's daughter was graduating from Western Michigan University. His name is Glenn. So when Glenn was participating in the graduation ceremony, about 5 Papuan students approached him. And they go, oh, Pak Glenn, dari Freeport ka? Kami pikir ini Pak Glenn bisa tahu ya bahwa kami ada banyak orang Papua di Western Michigan. Hampir 25 orang, mahasiswa. Glenn kaget. We didn't know anything about this program, this Ghana OTSUS program. So Glenn calls me, because I lived in Papua for 12 years, 13 years. Glenn knows that I have a passion for Papua. So Glenn calls me, are you aware of this Ghana OTSUS and students studying in the U.S.? Nope, knew nothing about it. Glenn, when he was a little boy, went to school in Timbagapura. One of Glenn's friends was Melanie Lintura. Melanie worked at the Indonesian consulate in Los Angeles. She and Glenn went to school together for about 14, 15 years in Tembagapur and Kuala Lumpur. So Glenn and I contacted Melanie and we said, Melanie, there are 25 Papuan student kids studying at Western Michigan University. Maybe we can mentor them. And Melanie said, no, there's not 25. There are 300. And not at Western, but all over, Rhode Island, Florida, Oregon, Washington, California, everywhere. So Glenn and I made a decision. Working with Melanie, we made a decision that we would identify mentors who would be willing to volunteer their time to mentor what we call proteges, students, mentees. And so we put together a program in the second half of 2019 called the FCX. FCX is the stock ticker symbol for Freeport-McMoRan. FCX PTFI Mentorship Initiative for Papuan students studying in the U.S. and Canada. We identified 10 mentors, 5 Indonesians and 5 Bule. All of them in Phoenix. Melanie then invited Glenn, as those of you who may remember, who were around in 2019, Melanie invited Glenn and myself to Los Angeles to attend the Imapa Youth and Scholars Conference 2019. It was before Christmas. It was 22, 23, 24 December. December, great time to be in Los Angeles. It was warm. We had a good time. The sun was shining. Everybody was, it was just fun. But Glenn and I, and we had another companion named Bryce, who worked with the Orang Asli Native Americans in Arizona. We gave a presentation to about 30 or 40 Papuan kids, men and women, who might be interested in becoming proteges. And we assigned those kids 3 per mentor. And we kicked off the program in January of 2020 with only juniors and seniors because we wanted to be able to track their graduation progress after 1 year, senior, after 2 years, junior. Did they all go back to Papua? Did some of them want to stay in the U.S.? What did they do in their OPT, after their OPT, et cetera, et cetera? At the same time, we wanted to make sure that, I'll use an American expression, we wanted to make sure your fellow protege students didn't fall through the crack. Now, fall through the crack means you're forgotten. Kasian. All of you students, you're living in Papua, you compete for this scholarship, they send you to Jakarta International College for, 6 months or a year. You learn a little bit of English, you learn a little bit of some field of study. They put you on a plane and say, bye-bye, we'll see you in 5 years. We felt that was wrong. We felt that because of the cultural challenges, the language challenges, the education challenges, the social challenges, you needed a parent. You needed someone to pick up the phone and say, hey, Dini, how you doing today? How's COVID? 2020 was horrible. We had kids at Western Michigan coming down with COVID. The consulates didn't know, the embassy didn't know, but because we were working with you, your fellow students, we were able to actually have some success where we would separate, when we knew there were COVID cases within a dormitory or within an apartment, we would separate our students away from the ones who were actually testing positive for COVID. We had the consulates involved, etc. That program ran for all of 2020. And as Demi said, one of the things that we started in 2020 as part of this program, and we continued it into 2021, was a program called PREP, P-R-E-P, Papuan Readiness for Employment Program. Online seminar, managing your personal finances, resume writing, how to give an elevator speech. Elevator speech is pretend you're in an elevator with Steve Jobs from Apple. You've got from floor 1 to floor 20 to make a pitch to Mr. Jobs why he should hire you at Apple. That's all you got. The time it takes an elevator to go from the first floor to the 20th floor. We taught the kids how to do that. And we had some other programs as well. We did one prep session every quarter. And it was good. We got 30, 40 kids online participating. The program's been very successful because we're able to track those who have returned to Papua. Out of the 60 to 80 kids that we have mentored since 2020, 14 of them have been employed by Freeport and/or our contract. It's about 23%, which is not too bad. But it wasn't automatic. Please don't think, oh, Butler Roy's here, therefore, oh, sa akin sa tugas sa tapos di Freeport. Oleh karena Pak Roy sudah bilang gampang. Melamar, terima, selesai. Tidak. It's not that easy. But at least we want to give you an opportunity, based on your resume, based on your GPA, based on your social skills, etc., at least have an opportunity to apply. What's the harm in applying? However, if for any reason you don't get the job with Freeport, don't feel discouraged. Apply at BP, apply at other companies, apply at Deloitte, apply at Accenture, apply wherever you want to apply. We have found that us as references, as mentors, goes a long way to convincing human resource departments the need to hire you, or at least be giving you a chance to be employed. I don't know if Jennifer went through this process or not, but
Yeah.
so, Jennifer works at Freeport up in Singapore. A nurse who has now become a safety officer. Congratulations. I mean, who go think, a nurse all of a sudden is now working with heavy equipment, right? And keeping people safe. Good on you. So that's what we want to do. Unfortunately, as Denny said, in 2021, there was a hiccup in terms of the flow of funds, a major hiccup. I did not realize 84 kids had returned. I thought it was like 10 or 12. Kasihan. Some of them were one semester from graduation. Some were 2 semesters from graduation, but they went home. That's not right. And so we Freeport are actually trying to figure out what can we do. Can we work with KBRE? Rosan prepared a list. We had 15 kids on that list. Can we help? Can the embassy help? And we've been able to make some progress, but still there's more to do. So I'll just close by saying this. It's an honor to be here in front of you talking and sharing my experiences and making you aware that my email address is not there. Sorry, Katie. My email address is my first letter of my first name and the 7 letters of my last name. No Freeport address could be more than 8 letters long. So it's LHOLLENB@fmi.com. So my name is Leroy Hollenbeck. So it's just LHOLLENB@fmi.com. Send me a note. Tell me about yourself. If you're going to graduate in spring, send me a resume. If you're going to graduate or you've just graduated in December, send me a resume. At least I will try to put it into the system to see what happens. But for those of you who are going to graduate soon, start getting your resumes out. I'm working with a girl in Western Michigan. She's one of my last proteges who's in the U.S. Her name is Alberta Kendall. You probably remember Alberta. Alberta just sent out 50 resumes to 50 different companies. One of them is Freeport. And I will support her 100%. It doesn't mean she's going to get that job, but at least she knows I have her back. So keep that in mind. I'm going to be here until Thursday morning. We're going to have a meeting with Imapa directors to talk about how do we strengthen your program, maybe fundraising. What is it that we can do to strengthen the collaboration between Imapa and Freeport, whether it's FCX in Phoenix, Freeport background in Phoenix, or PT Freeport Indonesia in Papua. Now Papua. So I think that's it. I want to thank everybody. Sorry I talked so long, but it's very important.
Masih bueno, kakak edit sedikit dulu. Mungkin kasih waktu sedikit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leroy, for a really useful session today. I really appreciate that. And then right now we have student research presentation and announcement. It's gonna lead by Girpa Pius Bagao. Time and place are welcome.
Okay, so this second session, we're gonna move to research presentation, winner announcement. We have one person and group that has completed the research competition in 2022. Without further ado, let me introduce the North team. North team focused on Papuan Green Life. We cannot wait to hear and see your work. Please come forward on the stage, Mr. Kingston. The stage is yours.
Hello everybody, shalom. Masih still awake? Masih ya. Again, my name is Kingston again. Yeki, Ali. I have a lot of names, but you can call me Yeki. I'm from Mulia. If you know where's Mulia, it's in Puncak Jaya. They call it in the highlands of the central or the farther east, but that's in Puncak Jaya. So I'm pursuing my study at the Humber College, and it is in Canada, and I'm taking hospitality and tourism management, which is not a very good business for now, but we'll see. Again, thank you again. I'd like to thank you for everybody here, but a lot of times maybe thank you for Imapa and everybody and the community. Well, I want to give a applause to all the communities, Rhode Island. Thank you for make this event. It's wonderful. I'm so blessed to have you all. So I've been here for 2 days or 3 days something. So the preparation was it's wonderful. So I'm excited for the tomorrow's event and this forward event. But again, Mr. Lilo Hollenbeck, thank you again for the great talks and Dr. David, thank you. And everybody again for Rhode Island. I don't know, I'm not very good at memorizing the name, but thank you for being here and thank you for all the facility and Kakak Haji, thank you, and Kakak Yesua juga. Everybody, teman-teman, terima kasih. Saya langsung saja tapi myself and all the brothers from Toronto, we did about the project that as a committee told us to do, and then this what we did is a Papua Eco Green Life, and there are a lot of people that helped me during my research and the process, but there's a few of them, my brothers Wani Wanda, there's some Firko, also I have one of my sisters, Juliana Poseidon, I don't know if you know them, Mr. Sani is there, and Dani is one of the chairmen who organized the events. He's the one who helped me to the field trip of the pictures and do some survey and all stuff in Papua. So some other guys. And I have 3 professors who helped me along the way, which is Professor Bambam and Kakak Harry, Dr. Harry, and then Kakak Professor Richard from University of Cendrawasih, and as well as Kakak Romayo. Sister, sorry. And he's there's a lot of stuff I put, but I'll try to make it short. I promise. My sister. So what we have now is, as you all know, in Papua, we have for the solid waste management is a very big issue. This is all the stuff I'll be talking about. It's okay. It's a lot of the list, but I'll try to make it short. In Papua, right now we have a lot of stuff that they had to work on, which is one of them is how we organize the solid waste management from the household and then to the community, from the churches, from the street, the sweeping, and that's how we're not really proper organizing the waste management. That's why we did about the it was about the how we can do a better waste management. Maybe I should give you a coordinate. By doing this, there will be next one.
Dada, you can use this.
Oh, okay. I have this one. Okay. It's better. All right. Maybe I might have to ask. Does anybody here want to agree with me, or maybe just either has you also want to live in a very fresh air, and clean and green life? Just want to head up. It's okay. You don't need to move your hands. All right. Right. It's just a few summary, but I don't want to read all of them. It is very important that whatever the stuff that we consume every day, or the market, or from the how we use all the foods, or the plastic, or the bags that we have to use it in the. And that's how we should put all the recycle back into the right place. And yeah, there's a very big executive ceremony, but the main thing is one of the name we propose is the Eco Green Life. That's the project name that we propose, and then hopefully if some of the brothers from Imapa and the boards, maybe if they get a support, maybe this is how we can start by the small community recycling center, and then we can go on from there. And one of the things that we want to will be posting on the research is how we can change the community behavioral change. So my brothers did some of the few assessments, so we'll be going over them. And again, the background, I'm kind of going back again at the same time, but and this is if everybody remembers, Kalani is the one who is the organizer, and then they told everybody to do the research and how we can do research in everything that all the problems that that's happening in Papua, and then if you can come up with the solutions and to the problems. And as a research name that we name it is again Papua Eco Green Life. Maybe if my brothers if they change their mind to change some other names, maybe we'll see. But that's the name we name it. And the case study that we focus for our case study is in Sentani. Maybe some of you may know all of them. It's in the Pasar Baru or Pasar Lama. I don't know which one is the Hara Market. Yeah, that's the Pasar Baru, I think. That's our location for the case study. And then I have 9 members of the team that will help me in the team. And then again, I said 3 of the professors who help me along with the research process. And again, it's 3 months or 2 months left for the research. And then I also have a we also have a few some of the related topics in the waste, solid waste management, and we review some of the existing work and then do some of the primary and secondary survey. Maybe some of you maybe remember if I shared the link in the group to do the survey, and thank you for everybody who participates to see what you think about the foreign waste management in Papua. Yeah, the problems. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this again, but again, if you see, I didn't go around a lot in the state, but what I see in Canada is they have a very good system who everybody get educated from their houses, from their homes, and then how they can manage to put all their waste into the right place, and then even if they go out to the outside, how they can manage all the waste. But now in Papua, I think I don't know where is the place that they do very proper waste management. So this is field study that they projected by the World Bank, that they projected, I think by 2022. I think it's 2.24 billion tons of solid waste they've been processing, that have been amounted to footprints. But then if you look at the number of 2050, that we getting more than 70%. That's a lot. So maybe some of us here maybe will be along the way, will be one of them. So this is one of them, how we can not to get involved in that. So maybe we can change our mind there to how we organize the solid waste. And again, I think I have some of them from 16 work from Jaipura, but I forgot, I'm very report. But but just a simple way, if I can, I don't know how that work, but if I can put, if there are in a community of if I say in this case in Santani, but in Mulia, like in my place, there are 50 or 100 families who are staying there, and every day what they make from the household is like 1.5 tons per month. I think per month, and that's equivalent to the like 18 tons per year. You got that 100 people, 100 families, and it's if you can combine more 100 again to 200, and how we can get to in 2 years, there will be a lot. But because sometimes we use all the stuff that we don't even dump it to the right place, we just keep buying, we just keep getting all the stuff, and we don't even do this math rightly. Maybe I did the wrong thing again. I don't know. That's how I can explain to you guys. So it's the thing that is everybody is know what is the not very good to dump to the right one, and I think everybody is recognized, but this is the one that we have to the one that we know here, and how we can educate to our brothers and our sisters and families who are in Papua. When we come back, we have to tell them, we have to educate them to manage the waste into the proper way. This is just a few pictures. Maybe it might be misplaced. This is a Pasar, right? Pasar Santani. This is one of the current dump that they can come and pick up for the waste by the local government in Santani. And if anybody recognize what is this? This is in Doyo Baru or Doyo Lama, yeah. this is the open landfill. Open landfill is a public, so everybody can go and dump it whenever they like it and whenever they want to, because there is no processing facility. So I think I want to go back to this one. So imagine if we have here, I don't know what to say, but in Canada, I have one of the biggest company who operates the waste management is called Jepa, maybe Mr. Hollenbeck know that. They are a private company, but they owned by the government. So every week they come to their houses and you just need to put all their garbage and maybe once in a week, and they will come and get into all the collecting center and processing and all stuff to the final phase of the processing. But not in Papua again. Once again, so this is how my parents did this study, and then how in current I think I don't know about the local governments what they do in the collecting and the processing, but I think that's not. If they can do the more proper way to processing center, and then how they can do recycling into the final process. Yeah, this is one of the examples to collecting. So if you see, this is the dump. So once they fill all the bins, this is the bin, and then everybody, if somebody can put to the side, yeah, they can follow along. They can just put the day and night. This is how they see to the side. So that would be better if you can maybe if they put some more organized. Maybe they can put some more bins, but maybe into the different stage or stations, or maybe once they full, or maybe before full, they can come pick up in a day, or in 2 days, or maybe twice in a week or something. But this is now in Papua, like in the side of the street, and I think this is in the market as well. Asalama. I don't know. So yes, again they do, but just not to the right, to the right bins and to the right place. And one of the things that I want to share with all of you is how we can turn, we can change, and we can share to everybody back home that. Of course, I know it is not easy to change somebody's behavior, to tell them you have to put all their garbage and all their waste to the right place. But it will take time, but we have to start someday. We have to start doing in our house. We have to start doing in our community, and then start going around. I believe we can. And again, I don't know why this is. Yeah, so literature review. Again, this is I didn't just take all the stuff from what my brothers did, some of the review, and then some again with the some official from the United Nations. I don't know what they call them. Environmental program out there. Again, they do a lot of good sample for every other countries to follow along for the good waste management project. But some of the countries, developing countries, they do, but not in the developing countries. Therefore, in Indonesia and especially in Papua. So hopefully we can catch up. Again, if I do believe that it's not only that we cannot just go to Papua and tell all the governments, the local governments, that you guys have to prepare all of these stuff so we can adapt. No, I think it's everybody, the governments, the business, the small owners, or maybe the families and everybody. And just everybody had to get together and raise this more awareness. So I think that's we have to start. Again, if you guys ask me, where did you get? Again, I said it already, but I have two two way, so I did primary and the secondary. Again, the primary one is I have two of my brothers in Papua, which is Kaka Luki Wanda, maybe some of you may know, and Kaka Daniel Game, who is one of the chairman of the organizers. They helped me to take some pictures in the field trip and then some interview, and then survey as well, in-person survey. And for the secondary, I have a reviews on our existing work and then some online citizens' opinions. So maybe some of my brothers here participate in the link. Again, I thank you everybody. And yeah, this is just a few of them on the show. This is for those who participate in from Papua. So most of them are pegawai negeri, how do we call them, pegawai negeri officials, so yeah, civil servants, and three of them are battalion and some students, and some of them are. This is when we ask them, have you heard about the dump or the waste around your community? And some of them, I say, this is a 20% they say they know, but then most of them they say 80% of them they know, but how can they didn't even put them or collect the garbage in the right place? That's the question. So again, we have to go and help them again to organize into the right place. Again, right, where is the most sources to make the dams? So some of the respondents say from the public and commercial and swasta. That's the most of the people who participate in the survey, and then the other is from the household and the street group. Again. Yeah, this is what the most, what are the most waste they make. Most of them are food from the house, and then just a few of them from plastic. But I think most of them, the food is from the, it's not from the household. But I think it's in Sentani area, it's from the restaurants. I do believe there are a lot of the small houses in the market, Pasar Lama, so I think those are the most known. And where did you dump? This is where they ask, and most of the respondents is some of them di kali, some of them in the sungai di lorong, and the others. So it's everywhere, not very good. So again, yeah. So the first one, thank you again for to the brothers who participated on mine. I think most of them are students. Again, I want to encourage everybody, if you do take a lot of stuff, start now reducing. Okay. Yeah, with the term, I don't want to answer again. So, just the brothers responded. Some of them, some are familiar, some of them are even unfamiliar. I think very familiar, and some are less familiar. I think some of the brothers here know, but maybe they just didn't do, or maybe they just into the wrong place. So maybe if anybody going somewhere, if you see somebody throw into the sembarang, tolong bilang jangan. It's okay. So I'll just go to the SWOT analysis that my brothers did, and then if the strengths will be maybe this is the good one. This is Alan back again saying some of the brothers from sharing with us, if you can create something a good opportunity, right? If we are thank God. If this project is going on, will be if my dream is I really want to do this in Papua. I don't know where I will be starting, whether in Mulia, in Punjagaya, or in Sentani, or everywhere where I will be starting. But I want to do this, and I want to help the brothers and everybody in Papua that how we can do. And also everybody who is in there who is not doing anything, maybe they're just on the street. I can even ask them to come and work for me. Maybe if I have a very good sponsor, maybe hopefully I want to create some more jobs, some more opportunities so they can work how to create for the workforce in Papua. And automation of the machine, but maybe that's the long term. But one of my brothers plan in my team discusses about we have to start with a small one, with a small community recycling. So that's what they call them Papua green life. So maybe if I start in Sentani, I will have to start with the I already from Unchen, one of the Kakaricha, mostly from Unchen University of Cendrawasih, and they told me already we'll be working together to start the process in Unchen, the Unchen area. So I'll be starting in Unchen, and then from there, where I can start again for the next community waste management. So that's a very good start. And then I also work with one of the professors who helped me is from Kakaheri. Dr. Heri is I don't know where he's working, but he's one of the big researchers in Indonesia, currently working now. So we'll be reaching out to some of the developed countries like in Denmark and I forgot which one is China or Korea, which one, but we'll be reaching out to them and then how they can transfer or we can work together with the technology and then to start with the small community waste management and to the processing facility. I don't want to say all of this, but again, the proposal that my brothers propose is how we can through this community waste management, how we can educate everybody and then ask to participate. We can just start it from the small and then we can go from our community and then we'll see. Yes, this is the assessment that we start. Again, I said in the earlier that we start. I have two assessments that we made. So the first one is for the community behavioral change. So this is the if you see along what's going down and how we can our objectives to change the community behavioral change, and then the process will be to everybody has to be get involved as an individual, as the community leaders, as also with the local governments and private and all the other activists to get involved. And from there, maybe we have three other separate, but we have hopefully we can go to human and institution development pact. Maybe if I get the right sponsor, I want my plan is to build again the place, the physical place where I can collect all the waste from household, from businesses, and all the street, and how I can processing all the waste, and then maybe everybody here know we can even do the recycling and then do syngas. We can even make some t-shirts, some selling. We can do all the other stuff, right? And also even bricks. And one of them in Canada is they do for their road facility that they can put, but also brick. So maybe if we can do this in Papua, we're almost out of trees and all stuff to build houses. So maybe if we have enough amount of waste, we can use a brick we can get the bricks from the waste management of the final phase. And the second one is my brother suggests the technology innovations assessments. But again, this is not mine. But I put this as an example. So this is where I need all the brothers and all the sisters who are have a bright mind, because I'm not in the technology and all the stuff. So I need help with the creating of the machines. So maybe teman-teman yang punya yang canggih, yang belajar di mechanical atau di teknologi, mungkin kalau punya ada waktu, mungkin bantu bikin how we can create the good machines that we can processing all the waste management. Jadi I'll be waiting. I don't know. Saya tidak mau tunjuk. I don't want to point out whoever wants to help me, but I'll be waiting. So kalau teman-teman punya ide yang bagus, how we can create the last final technology with the processing waste and to the final, that would be awesome. I think that's all. Yeah, again, what we can do to help. Again, this is the final one. I want to encourage everybody to, just wherever you are, tell them, please don't put all the garbage in the wrong place. Again, that's all, and this is all my work sites. But again, one more. What's this? Yeah, this is another part about the community. The committee asked me to announce this one, so this is one of the projects that our brothers from Toronto did, and we call it HOPE. Yes, we have HOPE. This is the library project that we did. We started collected from 2016 to 2017. It's a long time. We've been collecting the children's books and also with the adults reading books. So I just want to let you know, and some of the Torontonian guys, they are doing these two projects. No, this is one project. So I want to encourage everybody, if you have some friends or some families or everybody here in the US, Mr. Hollenbeck, everybody just, if the kids get older, all the kids will just try to throw them in the garbage, right? Please, I need them. So if anybody have the books, let me know, or maybe I will let my brothers and my sisters here the contacts, so you can send them here, and then I'll come and get it. Okay? Sorry for the long one, but I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you for Mr. Kingston. And the second presentation is going to be by Andras Karma. The stage is yours. Please make it short and clear. Thank you so much.
diselenggarakan oleh semua mahasiswa Papua di Amerika Serikat dan di Kanada, dan juga semua profesor atau semua yang terlibat dalam pertemuan ini. Perkenalkan, nama saya Laus Umayo dari Cendrawasih University, juga bekerja sebagai special advice untuk Presiden selama 2 tahun di kantor staf Presiden, dan saat ini memimpin sebuah lembaga yaitu analisis Papua strategis yang beranggotakan banyak sekitar hampir 500-an lebih di sekitar hampir 16 negara di dunia, dan kami berpusat di Papua dan juga di Jakarta, dan juga beberapa mitra kami di beberapa tempat di negara lain. Kami berucap syukur karena kami terus mendorong dan mensosialisasikan pentingnya riset untuk Papua, karena Papua ini adalah gudang pengetahuan yang masih tertidur dan belum dibangunkan, dan oleh karena itu kita membutuhkan banyak orang, banyak sumber daya manusia untuk bisa meneliti dan menemukan banyak hal untuk kebutuhan atau apa saja yang bisa dilakukan untuk percepatan pembangunan di tanah Papua. Papua Research Competition yang kami juga kerjasamakan dengan beberapa universitas, baik Universitas Indonesia, Prof. Bambang Sergi Laksmono, juga ada Prof. Heri dari Pusat Penelitian Indonesia atau dari BRIN di bidang ekonomi dan bisnis, juga ada Prof. Richard dari Fakultas Ekonomi Universitas Cendrawasih untuk studi pembangunan kampung, dan juga beberapa rekan-rekan kami dari universitas yang lain. Juga ada Profesor Tim dari Oregon Institute of Technology di Amerika. Pada kesempatan ini saya juga ingin menyampaikan bahwa riset ini menjadi hal yang sangat penting di Papua, karena ketertarikan anak-anak muda Papua, baik yang ada di Papua, di luar Papua seperti di Jakarta atau di Jawa, dan juga di Amerika dan di beberapa negara lain, masih sangat kurang. Ini membuat kita juga khawatir bahwa banyak sekali kebijakan-kebijakan pembangunan di Papua yang sebenarnya itu diteliti oleh orang lain, baik orang-orang di Eropa atau orang di Pulau Jawa, dan anak-anak Papua sendiri masih jauh dari angka yang kita harapkan. Oleh sebab itu, kami mendorong untuk APS, Analisis Papua Strategis, bekerjasama dengan Imapa, USA Kanada, untuk menggelar research competition dengan tujuan untuk terus mensosialisasikan penelitian yang berbasis pada tema-tema khusus, ya kita mengatakan tema-tema khusus antara lain adalah kita merujuk kepada prioritas pembangunan Papua sesuai dengan Special Autonomy Policy dalam 4 bidang prioritas yang terus dikejar oleh pemerintah dan dalam 20 tahun terakhir 4 bidang prioritas ini menjadi hal yang harus dikawal untuk 20 tahun ke depan lagi sesuai dengan kebijakan otonomi khusus yang diamandemen atau perubahan undang-undang yang saat ini sedang terjadi. Yaitu pertama adalah pendidikan, kedua adalah kesehatan, ketiga adalah pemberdayaan ekonomi, dan yang keempat adalah infrastruktur kampung. Kenapa pendidikan penting? Karena pendidikan ini persoalan yang paling mendasar di Papua adalah persoalan guru. Kita masih mengalami kekurangan guru dengan persentase yang sangat tinggi dari total jumlah sekolah di Papua. Itu rata-rata guru kita belum memenuhi kualifikasi, baik kualifikasi bidang studi atau akademik, tetapi juga kualifikasi dari sisi jumlah. Jadi satu sekolah masih kekurangan guru dan tidak merata. Jadi guru semua menumpuk di kota dan di kampung-kampung gurunya sedikit. Kemudian juga kurikulum yang dikembangkan berbeda sekali dengan kurikulum yang dikembangkan di daerah Jawa, baik Jawa Tengah atau Jawa Barat. Misalnya di Jawa Barat mereka sudah mengembangkan kurikulum dengan bahasa Sunda misalnya atau bahasa Jawa. Nah, kita di Papua bahasa daerah belum terlalu disentuh. Padahal bahasa itu adalah media terbaik untuk mengantarkan sebuah anak atau suatu generasi memahami apa yang terjadi dan memahami satu pandangan tentang masa depan. Pendidikan juga menjadi satu masalah yang hari ini disoroti di Papua karena pendidikan juga tidak didukung oleh situasi keamanan yang mendukung. Di beberapa daerah seperti daerah Nduga, Puncak Jaya, Ilaga, Pegunungan Bintang di beberapa distrik ya seperti di Kiwirok, Batong itu akhirnya tidak ada aktivitas pembelajaran yang baik karena tidak didukung oleh situasi kondisi keamanan. Jadi ada pendidikan terganggu juga karena situasi instabilitas. Kemudian yang kedua adalah kesehatan. Tadi kenapa menjadi prioritas? Karena kita perlu menghitung angka kelahiran dan kematian di Papua. Ini menjadi penting. Pada tanggal 30 akhir bulan Desember, APS akan melakukan review tentang perkembangan Papua dalam bidang kesehatan, dan kita memeriksa di sejumlah rumah sakit yang ada di Papua dan Papua Barat untuk melihat tren kematian dan juga tren kelahiran, tetapi juga alur pelayanan publik di bidang kesehatan. Karena tidak semua orang Papua yang sakit mau ke rumah sakit, mereka memilih juga untuk di rumah dan belum tentu juga dokter akan datang ke rumah, kecuali di beberapa daerah yang memang sudah memiliki beberapa strategi lokal seperti di Wamena. Kita punya Helivida misalnya berkolaborasi dengan rumah sakit di Wamena untuk bisa melakukan penjemputan pasien atau melakukan operasi ketika mereka tahu ada pasien di kampung yang sudah emergensi. tetapi itu menggunakan helikopter misalnya. Kemudian juga untuk bidang kesehatan kita masih punya masalah dengan isu kita menyebutnya adalah BPJS. BPJS itu adalah asuransi kesehatan yang itu harus didukung dengan KTP. Jadi kalau orang Papua yang tidak punya KTP itu sudah pasti tidak akan dilayani di rumah sakit karena namanya tidak ada di dalam sistem. Nah, saya kemarin melihat dan mengecek itu terjadi di Jawa Timur dan di beberapa distrik yang memang perlu sekali untuk kita tolong. Yang ketiga adalah masalah ekonomi, ini terkait akses orang Papua atau masyarakat Papua ke dunia perbankan. Jadi kalau Anda melihat 20 tahun terakhir ini mama-mama yang jualan di pasar ya di mana-mana, ya baik mama Papua yang di Jayapura, di Wamena, di Sorong, di Timika, di Fak-Fak, di Kaimana, di banyak kabupaten, itu dalam 20 tahun ini tidak mengalami peningkatan, tidak mengalami kemajuan. Jadi dari orang misalnya satu mama jual sampai tua, anaknya lagi jual dari muda sampai tua, itu tidak ada tren kemajuan peningkatan secara signifikan. Artinya kita bisa menyimpulkan bahwa ada hal-hal yang harus diperbaiki, direvisi dalam proses penanganan masalah pemberdayaan ekonomi. Ketika kita mewawancarai beberapa bank ya seperti Bank Papua, Bank Mandiri, Bank BNI, Bank BRI dan beberapa bank-bank nasional atau bank daerah, mereka sampai saat ini belum punya produk yang khusus untuk menangani orang-orang Papua yang memang ingin maju dan berkembang dalam ekonomi menengah ke atas. Gitu. Jadi akses masyarakat dengan perbankan ini belum terfasilitasi dengan baik. Dan saat ini juga ada dari USAID dan beberapa university di Papua melakukan penelitian untuk melihat sejauh mana tren beredarnya dana khusus atau dana negara dengan skenario program pemerintah melalui kementerian dan melalui pemerintahan otonom ya seperti kabupaten kota, provinsi, jumlah uang yang beredar dengan tren perubahan yang terjadi di masyarakat itu belum terjadi secara signifikan, dan ini menjadi satu hal yang menarik untuk dikaji atau dilihat saat ini. Kemudian yang berikut adalah infrastruktur kampung. Infrastruktur kampung itu memang sangat beragam ya, tapi kita melihat infrastruktur yang dibangun terlalu besar ya, seperti fasilitas-fasilitas yang cukup megah ya, seperti fasilitas PON, kemudian akses infrastruktur yang berat ya. Tetapi kalau kita lihat infrastruktur kampung yang sederhana, seperti instalasi air bersih, listrik ya, internet, kemudian jalan-jalan penghubung masyarakat dari kebun atau dari kampung ke kota, itu belum semua terbangun secara baik. Sehingga kita lihat dalam tren 20 tahun ini, hal-hal ini belum terkejar secara maksimal. Namun kemudian dalam perkembangannya justru Papua dimekatkan menjadi 3 provinsi ya, karena Papua 4 provinsi, 3+1 provinsi induk, dan Papua Barat menjadi 2 provinsi, 1+1 ya, jadi semua ada 6 provinsi. Dan bagaimana mengatur 2,8 juta orang asli Papua di dalam wilayah baru dengan SDM yang terbatas, dan bagaimana mengatasi masalah-masalah prinsip atau masalah-masalah klasik yang tadi saya sampaikan, yang tentunya harus menjadi prioritas. Kemudian ada isu lain yang penting juga, tak kalah penting, seperti isu perubahan iklim ya, climate change. Kita punya kasus di PAWG, misalnya Lanijaya, dan juga beberapa wilayah yang kita antisipasi seperti Asmat dan juga Yahukibo, Manderang, Tengah, beberapa wilayah yang kita harus antisipasi dari potensi terjadi perubahan iklim dan juga dampaknya terhadap ketahanan pangan mereka. Atau dulu sempat kita dengar terjadi musim lapar atau kekurangan makanan akibat perubahan iklim. Dan juga ada isu lain yang perlu kita lihat, yaitu adalah resolusi konflik. Bagaimana semua masyarakat yang mau dibangun ini kita perlu menemukan pola resolusi yang baik untuk mempertemukan pihak-pihak yang berkonflik. Itu baik mereka yang ada di dalam hutan, mereka yang ada di kota-kota, mereka yang bekerja sebagai abdi negara, dan saudara-saudari bisa mengikuti di beberapa perkembangan di tahun ini tren penembakan terhadap warga sipil atau sipil terhadap militer ini atau TNI, Polri ini masih cukup signifikan ya, masih cukup tinggi, sehingga ini juga berdampak terhadap efektivitas pembangunan yang seharusnya terkejar karena kita memang sudah berada pada situasi yang harus mengejar semua ketertinggalan yang ada di tanah Papua. Dengan demikian, dari gambaran ini saya juga menyampaikan kepada kawan-kawan di Imapa USA Kanada untuk bisa membuat satu planning ya, untuk mulai merencanakan program-program penelitian tematik. Saya kenapa mengatakan program penelitian tematik ini penting karena secara konsisten misalnya kita harus meneliti tentang bagaimana konsep pembangunan masyarakat pedalaman. Bagaimana kita harus konsisten meneliti tentang konsep penanganan masyarakat yang ada sesuai dengan karakteristik ekologi yang berbeda, dengan karakteristik konflik yang berbeda, dengan karakteristik tingkat kesulitan yang berbeda. Sehingga ketika teman-teman pulang kembali ke Indonesia, kembali ke Papua, itu sudah mengerti gitu apa yang harus dilakukan. Mungkin ada yang melakukan penelitian di bidang yang lebih luas, tetapi juga mulai berpikir ketika kembali ke Papua, bagaimana bidang-bidang itu bisa dikembangkan. Tetapi infrastruktur pendukungnya di Papua juga tidak terbangun secara baik. Yang ada cuma ada di perusahaan-perusahaan besar, atau mungkin ada di Jawa, atau di tempat-tempat lain. Nah, sehingga kami dari APS berdiskusi dengan beberapa lembaga riset untuk memikirkan bahwa mahasiswa Papua di Amerika dan Kanada dengan resources yang begitu luar biasa di sana sudah bisa mulai merencanakan penelitian-penelitian tematik yang dibuat secara konsisten untuk menjadi satu strategi bagaimana berkontribusi ke depan. Inilah yang menjadi satu latar belakang kenapa kita mendorong adanya Papua Research Competition yang adalah satu upaya bersama untuk bagaimana kita meneliti tentang kondisi kampung-kampung kita kembali. Saya mengamati dalam perkembangan 20 tahun terakhir ini banyak terjadi perubahan di Papua yang tidak bisa kita merespon secara biasa saja, tetapi harus kita teliti. Entah itu perubahan demografi, perubahan culture, perubahan pembangunan, perubahan values, ya, perubahan yang begitu cepat karena globalisasi dan juga terjadi asimilasi, terjadi akulturasi, dan ini menjadi sesuatu yang harus kita simak dengan baik. Oleh sebab itu, pemerintah Indonesia melalui Bapak Jokowi telah menerbitkan Impres 9 2020 tentang percepatan pembangunan kesejahteraan Papua, yang turunannya kita menyebutnya adalah RIPP, Rencana Hidup Pembangunan Papua. Dan di dalam Rencana Hidup Pembangunan Papua itu berarti kan orang Papua harus merencanakan how to develop Papua, begitu. Nah, ini menuntut kerja keras dari SDM kita untuk mulai merancang. Misalnya Wamena itu kita mau bangun 20 tahun ke depan bagaimana? Pelabuhan-pelabuhan di Pegunungan Tengah yang berhadapan dengan selatan Papua itu mau dikonektivitasnya, mau dikonekkan bagaimana? Gitu. Apakah memungkinkan kita bangun kereta api misalnya dari Yahukimo ke Wamena, gitu. Atau misalnya bagaimana akses Timika, Nduga sampai ke Wamena. Nah, ini adalah isu-isu yang sangat menarik karena ketika kita bicara membangun satu kawasan harus ada penelitian, harus ada kajian-kajian yang dibuat oleh anak-anak muda hari ini, sehingga kita menghindari resiko-resiko yang akan terjadi akibat ketika satu pembangunan mau dilakukan di daerah baru, tidak dilakukan feasibility study-nya, tidak dilakukan satu kajian untuk mengawal sebuah proses atau sebuah tantangan yang nanti akan dihadapi oleh pihak yang membangun atau pihak yang dibangun. Nah, kita punya pengalaman jalan dari Nduga misalnya ke Wamena itu tidak selesai-selesai karena miskontak, ya, mispersepsi antara yang mau bekerja membangun jalan dan yang punya wilayah tersebut. Nah, sehingga penelitian tematik ini akan sangat menolong pemerintah daerah, menolong masyarakat sekitar, menolong gereja-gereja di Papua, menolong para pelaku pembangunan, sehingga kita bisa mengerti satu proses pembangunan secara bersama-sama. Itu Oke, dengan demikian saya menyampaikan terima kasih karena saya mendengar Kingston ya dari Kanada presentasi. Terima kasih. Kami berharap teman-teman yang lain juga bisa mengambil peluang yang sama untuk meneliti tentang kampungnya, tentang kampung halamannya, dari perspektif yang berbeda atau dengan resources atau dengan ilmu yang didapatkan di tempat dia belajar, dan itu bisa kita praktekkan secara bersama-sama seiring dengan upaya pemerintah untuk membangun percepatan pembangunan yang akan dimulai dari kampung. Jadi pembangunan tidak akan lagi dimulai dari kota ke kampung, tapi dari kampung ke kota, dan tentu itu punya satu tantangan tersendiri, di mana yang harus dibangun itu adalah anak-anak kampung sendiri. Sekian dan terima kasih, dan semoga penjelasan saya ini bermanfaat dan untuk membantu teman-teman untuk tetap semangat mengembangkan riset tentang Papua dengan dengan menyesuaikan dengan situasi perkembangan yang ada di Papua. Sekian dan terima kasih. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Papa Laos, for sharing. That's the knowledge and new for us to look back for what we should do for Papua and the background for the research competition. And for the next session is gonna be Mr. Andreas. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much for the time. Thank you again for allowing us to explain everything in Papua. Hopefully, what I present can take into consideration. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about what I did research on Merauke. Yeah, it's about production. The title is Tidal Lagoon Energy Production, including environmental and social aspects in West Papua. So the problems. Many people in West Papua don't have access to electricity. And based on the research tip from the Indonesian government, it's around 51% of villages in Papua don't have access to electricity, and most villages only have the lights generated from generators and modified car electric battery that lasts up to 6 hours, and they don't have any exact electricity. And due to the geological location, this makes it expensive for them to afford the electricity. And the second one is most of the electricity in West Papua is generated from fossil fuels, which is mainly diesel and gas, which is caused the emission gas, the CO2 emission. So the objective is to obtain the energy production from the site, which is Merauke, and how it can be used to help the community around it from both social and environmental effect. So I will create a lagoon. Do you guys know what lagoon is? Right. Lagoon, I will explain later. Yeah. And how can it generate electricity from it? So tides, who knows tides? So, yeah, right, tides. So this is the base definition of tides. The tides are ocean waves with very long period that move to respond to the moons and some gravitational pull. So yeah, this is the tides. I don't know how to explain it in different ways, but basically the moon pulled because the gravitational force from the moon pulled the water from the air towards the moon. So basically we have two tides, spring tides and neap tides. The spring is where the sun and the moon is like at the same angle. So basically it will pull the water really tight. So we have in Indonesia we call metikaring. You guys know? Yes, metikaring is really low. And then during neap tide, the angle of moon and then the sun is not in 60 degrees. So this is moon and this is sun. So we only have just like regular tides that we see in the Papua. Yeah. Okay. And lagoon. This is basically this is a picture of lagoon. So the tidal lagoon is a power station that generates electricity from the natural rise and fall of the tides. So I was thinking to build a lagoon in Merauke. I will explain about the site. So basically, because of the gravitational force, we can make a lagoon like a pool, and then put a turbine at the middle, and then when the water falls during the low tides, we can hold the water in the pool until the elevation changes from the ocean. We can open the gates and then run the turbine. Do you guys can understand? Yes. And then this is basically the simple way to understand it. So when there is during the high tide, we just bring the water inside the pool, and during the low tide, we just hold it until until the right time, and then we open the gates and then running the turbine to generate electricity. So the site, so Merauke is this the site where I chosen because of the tidal range there is really high. I don't know, I've never been there, but I'll look up in the online things. The tide is really high there. Who's been from Merauke and been there to Merauke? So do you know the tides over there? It's really long, right? So yeah, so we have in West Papua we have a mixed semi-diurnal tides. So we have 2 high tides and 2 low tides in the day, but different elevation. So in the day, I think there we'll have automatic heating, and then we'll have just regular tides. So this is the high tides, and then this is really high, and we'll have really low tide, which is practically here. And the population of there is around 200,000 people, but the 20% of the 200,000 is only indigenous people, so it's around like 60,000 people, indigenous people. And then because we don't have a lot of buoy out there. The buoy is where the water elevation measured. So I use the tide forecast website to gather and transfer the data, and I transfer manual to Excel. So that's the buoy I choose. I am using this website, and then I transferred all of these elevation changes to Excel, and then created a tidal range. So for the spring tides, we have a 4.9. So which means during the low tides, the water from 5 meters goes down to 0 meters. So it's really high. So the tidal range is around 8 meters. So it can go from here all the way down from here. So we can use these changes to generate electricity. And I'm using the assignment in my class to generate the power, the energy from the lagoon. And using these equations, which is 1/2 rho d times gravity times area times the tidal range. And then I created a lagoon. I don't know where is it, but it is somewhere in Merauke, or maybe some of you know. I've never been there, but I saw in the buoys. So I created a lagoon that has an area of 4 kilometers square. So basically a really big pool. And I assume that it's a charismatic, so it's just like we don't have a slope. It's just like straight walls. Goes down there. And then so I calculate the energy and then divide it by the times over the month, and I found it can generate 134 megawatts per month, but it can produce more but I multiply by 34% of coefficient from the turbines, because we have a lot of energy, but because of the turbines, it can only approximately get 103 megawatts per month. And then the electricity consumption in there is basically 90 kilowatt per month, which is really slow compared to the United States. Like United States use like almost like 20,000 megawatts and 20,000 kilowatts per month, because they have heaters and electricity and stuff. But back then we only have lights, and then some houses only have TVs and a fridge. So it can power up to 1,500 houses around the area. And then for the environmental impact, it can cause many things, because there is no lagoon has been created, has been made in around the world. So we don't know the effect yet, but we have to study the effect. And also around, like on the north of the side, there is a river, which will cause the erosion from the sediment, cause the sediment to erode it around the lagoon, and then it will impact the site of Papua New Guinea. And then the ecosystem will change as well. The fish will not be there. The same fish will not be there because elevation changes, and then the sediments changes there. However, if we look up at the social aspect, people will have a lot of electricity, and it will bring good for education and health, and then which causes the economy to grow. So conclusion, there is no work related to this project done in Indonesia, as I know. And then, of course, we don't have a lot of data available. So this is just a rough approximation. And then absolutely more work needs to be done on this project so we can understand more about the lagoon. The thing is, we saw people starting switching from fossil fuel to electric. They have an electric car here, but back home we don't have anything. People don't have electric, and here people are starting change from fossil to using batteries, but we don't have anything there. So I'm just thinking this is a good thing to start. So we will have same level as what work now. I think that's all for me.
Thank you so much. That's so wonderful. Like, I just know that you introduce new things to us, especially that's never been established in Indonesia or somewhere else. And it's gonna be really good for us if we support these projects and introduce to Papuan government. It's gonna be really cool. And now we're gonna move to session 3. Yeah, we're gonna move to session 3 with Joshua Gombo. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you for attending, everyone. So my name is Joshua. Again, thank you for the Imapa committee for the nice event, the Christmas celebration. Thank you for Mr. Leroy and David, also from the Perwakilan of KBRI. Thank you for coming. So I'm not gonna say anything long because I think it's last time already. So I'm just gonna share about my research and also like the method I use for conducting the research basically. So for the introduction, my name is Joshua Gumbo. And currently I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Washington in Seattle. And I work under Boeing at the Boeing Advanced Research Center. And that's where I conduct my research mostly. And you can see, that's my picture there. Basically I play with robots every day. So that's my favorite thing to do. So research, right? Like, what is research? So we've seen presentation from Becky and also Andres about research, but what is the definition of research, right? So if you search in Google, this is what they told you: a systematic investigation into and study of materials and resources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So it's basically just careful research, right? So as the name suggests, it's research. You search into finding a conclusion or an answer to a solution carefully over and over again. So that's the meaning of research, right? You're doing things over and over again. And in my experience of research, there is 3 questions that I usually ask myself to conduct the research. The first one is, what is the research, or what's the problem that you're going to solve, right? And then the second one is the why, the reason you conduct the research itself. So you have to have clear ideas of, why you want to do research. Otherwise, it's pointless, right? Like, what do you want to do this for some time? And the third one, of course, is the how. Is how you conduct the research, how you get all the resources and put them together to form a conclusion answer to a problem. So, anybody knows about scientific method? Yes? So scientific method, right? I think I learned this maybe in high school or my freshman year in college. So basically, it's the method that you usually follow, right, to conduct a research step by step. And it's all over the place on the internet. But the general steps to conduct a research is, of course, first you need to ask the questions, right? So what do you want to do a research on? Or if you find any problems, like what's the problem is. So that's the question that you need to ask. And then if you see from, Andres and Yeti, they have this background research, right? So you basically on this, you look at the literature online, you interview people, do a survey to kind of get the sense of, what's the current state of the problem is. And then you construct a hypothesis, right? It's basically it's not really a theory, but it's like, you take the early conclusion of the research basically based on your background research, background literature review. And then you do a experiment, right? You test your hypothesis if it's actually true. Then when you get the result, this is where you actually see, is it true or is it false, right? And most of the time, it's not always true. 90% of the time it's probably wrong. And that's where you think again, right? You form another hypothesis, and then test again with experiments. So this is what they call is, scientific method. And where the word research, it is come from that word, right? You come back you get a conclusion, a hypothesis, and is it false? Think again, like, was it wrong? And is there another method, another, approach to the problem, right? And that's where you conduct the research, right? And then once you get, closely true to your hypothesis, then you can write the results, report the results. Usually in the form of publications, you can submit to the journals or maybe the news outlet, etc. Right? So that's pretty much the method that I use. My background is in engineering, so I use this basically all the time for my research. And then I want to give you some example of my research at university. So my research is basically a transport system, cooperative transport system, using multiple robots, right? And if you see from this picture, there's like 4 robots, and then they try to carry a box, right? And what do we want to do this, right? That's the question. Why do you look into the system at the beginning? So if you see a typical robot, and you want to see Terminator movies or like Transformers, right? That's the typical robot that we usually think. It's a humanoid-looking robot, right? It's looking like a human. But the problem with those type of robots is it is really complex, right? It has a lot of sensors, cameras and everything like that. And in order for the robot to basically do a task, for example, carrying an object, it becomes really difficult to program. And that's a challenge of a single robot system. Nowadays, researchers try to move on to that type of system into this multi-robot system because, again, if you have multiple guys working together, you can do more things, right? So that's the reason why. And let me see. This is the what is the research, right? So how do we carry an object using multiple robots, right? So again, multi-robot system. What's the advantage of multi-robot system? Well, it's robust to failure. What do I mean by that, right? Robust to failure means, so if you imagine you have single word system, right? And then one of the sensor fails, like the camera and the eyes fail, for example. You cannot see anything. So it's basically the system broke down, right? You cannot do anything. But in the multi-robot system, if one of the guys there fail, you can still accomplish the task using the other, right? So that's one of the benefits, robust to failure. Scalability, right? So again, we can do more tasks, by adding or removing the robots depending on the task. For example, if you want to carry a larger objects, then we can just add more robots, right? Or like small objects, we just use 2 robots, for example. That's the scalability. And versatility is on the functions of the system, right? So multiple robots, you can carry a chair, or you can carry a piano, for example. Like it's versatile. You can do a lot of stuff with the robot system. And the general system has been used to other applications as well. For example, on search and rescue, especially on the area that's really hard to reach, right? So people have been using like drones to do a search and rescue task. Foraging, which is on the agriculture, do harvesting, for example, right? Using multiple robots, and also exploration, mapping, using multiple drones, multiple robots to map certain place, right? So this is the why we want to use multi-robot system instead of a single robot system. And this system is not like from out of the blue, it's not from nothing. It actually comes from a biological system that we actually see in the nature every day. I don't know if we can play the video. It's a short ants video. You guys seen ants, right?
Selamat.
So it's just a video of ants killing a Cheerios, like it's a cereal, right? So if you see in this video, it's actually really simple, right? Each ants, they working together, and then they move the object from one place to another. And the cool thing about that video is the people have found out that during the transfer process, the ants actually don't communicate to each other directly, but rather they actually only sense force and vibration at the end of the contact. So it's really cool. They don't really communicate directly. They just complete the task by just doing the task on their own. And if we come back to the presentation, that's exactly what we want to do using robotic system, right? And the cool thing but what are they actually? So the video, and that's what we want to copy with using robotics. So if you saw the video on the ant colony, they have like leaders and also followers. So we can do the same thing using the robotics. So on that, each robot, if you can see, you cannot see clearly, but each robot has a force sensors at the end, right? So they can sense the force measurements when they're doing the object. And that's how we're gonna implement the system to mimic the value system to this, right? So this is the specific applications, right? What we can do in Papua, right? That's the ultimate question. What do I do this research and what can I bring to Papua? The direct application is for the medical and food supplies transport everything, right? So this picture is my village. I'm from Wolo. This is not an old picture. This is like last year, right? So you can see it's still less developed as compared to like other cities, and also, if you see cities in the US and in Indonesia, right? Even the roads you can see it's not paved yet, right? It's still like muddy, and it's really difficult, especially during the rainy seasons. It becomes like really muddy. And my dad actually works on the Puskesmas, and every month he has to travel to other villages around this big village, not big, but I mean this is a major one, to bring vaccines, and it's really difficult. I once went with him, and I couldn't do it, right? So it's a really difficult task. So maybe we can think about a better, approach to, for example, transporting the vaccines, and also we can do it with food. So it turns out people have been doing this. This is actually in Fiji. So this is funded by the Gates Foundation, Bill Gates Foundation, right? So they're transporting medical supplies and food using drones. Maybe we can start thinking about, better approach to transport medical supplies like vaccines and food in our country and in Papua as well, right? So that's one direct application that we can think about, or I can think about also to bring this back to Papua. So I think that's it, my presentation. Hopefully it's helpful.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was so good. And yeah, that's the things to learn to, and we should support this idea. And I want to invite the researchers to come in front and because we want to give the winner recognition, but because the certificate is not here, so we want to take a picture with Papa Roy and Papa from Kaberi, Papa Aji. So please come in front so we can take your pictures.
Tertapel, guys.
Makasih ya.
Thank you so much for the research presentation, and then also thank you so much for announcing the. We apologize because we don't have the certificate yet, but right now we are going to do our last session. Is a short video. We're gonna play that right now, and then after that we're gonna going to pray and then close our event for today. So much for the sharing the video. Basically, the video gonna explain, and then also all of the researchers, and then also the one that doing some, you know, the one that calculate and calculate all of the research from a professor from the Papua, professors in Papua, especially in Unchen. Those the one that gonna represent in the video, but I think that video already end up. So we're going to pray right now. So I'm gonna lead us to pray and then finish our event for today. Thank you, Lord, for today's event. We are really grateful because you already lead us in the morning until afternoon right now. And then we already have a lot of useful information from the researcher, and then we have a lot of useful information from PT Freeport, and then also from the Papuan Strategy Development by Mr. Laos. We are really grateful. We have a lot of information that we learned for today. We also have 2 researchers that already take their time and then doing research, especially in Papua area. We are really grateful because we have acknowledged a lot of things from that. And then for today, I'm really grateful and really thankful that we already finished our event for 27 December 2022. And after this, we're gonna have some more activity. We are give and we are surrender everything to you, Lord. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Thank you very much for attending today's event. Even though we have a lot of technical issues during this event, but thank God we were able to finish the event well. And thank you for attending the research competition program, and then also Papuan Development Strategies event, and all of the event that happens today. And shalom, God bless you all.
So for all the students.